Legal gun owners in San Jose may soon have to carry liability insurance. That's after the city council voted for it. It's believed to be the first measure of its kind in the U.S. NTD's Andrew Thomas reports.
The San Jose City Council also voted to require thousands of gun owners in the city to pay a fee. The funds would be used for firearm safety education and services such as domestic violence prevention and mental health services. The proposal aims at reducing gun violence in the San Francisco Bay Area.
We can't wait for Congress. Cities are stepping up throughout the country. States are increasingly stepping up as well. We want to encourage folks to deploy approaches that will reduce gun harm in their own communities. We're going to learn from each other. We're going to take the best ideas and hopefully scale them.
Sam Paredes, Executive Director of Gun Owners of California, says his group will sue if the proposal takes effect.
There are most definitely plans to challenge this in court. California either affects or infects what happens throughout the country. In this case, we would look at this as an unconstitutional infection that we want to stop here.
The liability insurance would cover losses or damages resulting from any negligent or accidental use of the firearm. Those who don't insure their weapons would face unspecified fines.
We are concerned about victims of gun violence, but we are not to blame. This law, in essence, assigns blame to lawful gun owners.
The proposal does not address the problem of illegally obtained weapons. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
Authorities say the cause of the fire that ignited in Big Sur was hot embers from a pile burning operation. According to CAL FIRE, high winds blew the hot embers from a pile burning operation onto nearby vegetation, which ignited the fire. Pile burning is often conducted by forest services to remove woody debris. The Colorado fire started in the Palo Colorado Canyon north of the Bixby Creek Bridge on Friday night. It has burned 700 acres and is 55% contained. Highway 1 is closed from Garrapatta Creek to Point Sur. Evacuation orders are still in place. A vote with California's public utilities was recently postponed amid public backlash. Though no reason for the postponement was given, the vote would have decided the fate of solar rooftops. We hear more from NTD's David Lamb.
A controversial vote that could change California's rooftop solar industry was recently postponed. California's Public Utilities Commission, or CPUC, was originally supposed to vote on the new solar changes and net metering changes on January 27th. Solar owners now operate under Net Energy Metering 2.0, or NEM 2.0 for short. The Commission, along with advocates for fair and solar equality, are pushing for NEM 3.0, which shifts the financial cost for solar panels to the wealthy. Under NEM 3.0, homeowners and businesses would receive up to 80% less energy credits when they generate more electricity than they use. Solar users would also be charged an extra $50 per month for a grid participation fee. Commission officials say the changes are needed so solar users can help fund the approximately 13 million non-solar homes in California. Governor Gavin Newsom said earlier this month that changes need to be made to the proposal. Over hundreds of public comments have been submitted opposing the proposal, saying that it discourages solar energy and is counterintuitive towards the state's clean energy initiatives. They also said that the change only makes profits for the utility companies. Thousands of solar employees and opponents of the proposal protested outside the CPUC's headquarters this month. No official reason was given for the postponement, except that it is under further review, according to a spokesperson with the commission. No new date has been set yet. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
On Wednesday, California's governor announced investments to make the state the national leader in zero-emission vehicles. NTD's Eileen Ng brings us more.
Governor Gavin Newsom announced at Ford Greenfield Labs in Palo Alto he is investing $37.6 billion to address drought and weather changes. $10 billion will specifically be for electric vehicle transformation.
One of California's top exports is electric vehicles. We dominate in manufacturing in this space in terms of startups, small companies that are becoming larger competitors.
Previously, the state invested millions of dollars on rebates. With this new announcement, he hopes to invest more in infrastructure, tax incentives for manufacturers, and low-income communities.
the two reasons we're here. One is appreciation and pride of Ford's investment in California and in the future of our country and our world, but also recognition that it's an imperative for the state in particular if we're going to continue our leadership in this space.
Newsom also announced the requirement that all newly purchased vehicles to be alternative fuel vehicles by 2035. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.
A Sacramento County judge ruled this week to delay the enforcement of parts of California's new farm animal welfare law, often dubbed the Bacon Law. Critics say the law would lead to price hikes and supply shortages for bacon and other fresh pork products in the state. After multiple failed lawsuits, the California Grocers Association and a group of restaurateurs were the latest to sue, calling for a delay in the enforcement of the new law. Sacramento County Superior Court Judge James Arguelles ruled Monday that retailers and restaurants would not be subject to enforcement of the new restrictions on whole pork meat sales until 6 months after the state enacts final regulations. The California Grocers Association said it is pleased with the decision. The law went into effect January 1st. It stems from a 2018 ballot measure California voters passed to set the nation's strictest living space standards for breeding pigs. The California Department of Food and Agriculture said Tuesday it is evaluating the recent ruling, stressing that the decision only applies to retailers and not pork producers. Pork producers and suppliers are still required to abide by the square footage requirements. California is the nation's largest market for pork. According to Rabobank, 80% of California's 255 million pounds of annually used pork is imported from other hog states like Iowa. The Chinese Lunar New Year is right around the corner, and in San Francisco, the city's leaders are taking action to increase safety measures for Asian Americans. That's after a spike in crimes targeting Asians.
San Francisco's police chief William Scott told a news conference on Tuesday that he had already ordered increased officer presence and patrols in Chinatown, despite staffing shortages he blamed on the pandemic. The Lunar New Year will be celebrated in the city with a parade on February 19th.
We're having some challenges with COVID and this latest surge of COVID. A lot of our officers have been off sick, but we're going to continue to make it happen. We make the adjustments. You will see officers deployed and more officers deployed in Chinatown as well as other areas of the city. And we have to make adjustments constantly to make that happen, and we'll continue to do that.
Scott and Mayor London Breed pledged to step up policing in Asian American communities after statistics showed that 60 hate crimes were committed against Asians in the city during 2021, up from only 9 the year before.
This is an extraordinary community, and I am heartbroken, I'm frustrated, I'm embarrassed, I'm angry about the violence that has continued to impact many of the people who are part of our Asian community.
Scott said that more than 30 of the hate crimes had been linked to a single individual who was arrested last August. San Francisco is the latest major U.S. city to have a sharp upswing in hate crimes against Asian Americans in the past year. New York City police said in December that 129 such incidents had been reported in 2021, compared with 28 in 2020. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.